Professor, I have to admit, when I draft, I am in love with big names. I play it safe. But I've been reading lately on ESPN.com/fantasy that it might be time to move on from those big names and try and get some other pieces in there. So it's time now for Sell High and Buy Low with Professor Andre Snelling. So, Andre, when you see this, there's no bigger name than the king himself, LeBron James. What am I doing here?
King James, I got to sell high.
Okay.
And the reason I'm doing so is because that man turns 40, like next week.
Yes.
And, you know, this is a young man's game. LeBron missed about 25 games a season from every year after they won the championship until last year when he played 71 games. It's hard to see him playing 71 again this year. He's already, started to have to step away a little bit for personal reasons. So I think that LeBron has played as good as we can expect him to play, and I'm going to move on before we start to see Father Time get his due.
Shout out Tim Duncan with his DNP old. Speaking of missing time because of injuries, I see Kevin Durant there. Are we selling high as well?
We are selling high. We are seeing a common theme with the superstars of the last decade to 15 years. Now they're at the end of their career, and since Durant tore his Achilles a few years back, he's been missing about 30 to 35 games a year most years.
Yeah.
Now again, last year he played most of the season. I'm not convinced that happens again. So if I can get somebody to give me first or second round value for him now, I'm selling high.
Yeah, the Suns can't even bank on him to be there every single game. How are you going to do so in your fantasy league? Now we got James Harden, who's been doing pretty good out there right now in LA. Do you sell high as well?
I'm selling high on him as well. With him, it's not so much an age thing, though he is getting into his 30s, but it's more, at some point, we're thinking Kawhi Leonard's going to come back. We're hearing that he's starting to practice more, and once he does, Harden is no longer the offensive engine the way he's been before.
Okay, we got some pieces here that I can add to my lineup by buying low. Paolo Banchero, is that what we're saying?
We are saying that. We're buying low on Banchero. He was killing the game before he got hurt. Now, when he comes back, I'm expecting him to pick up where he left off.
And then Paul George and John Morant will pretty much be in that same boat. How do you feel about these two gentlemen?
Yeah, both similar. With Morant, he really missed almost, a season and a half of action. So I still think he'll ramp up as the season goes. And with George, with all of the injuries to Embiid, and now Jared McCain being out, we saw the other day George and Maxey both went off. I expect a lot of that.
Yeah, and you saw, like you said, Jared McCain going down. So a lot of the offense is going to be going through him and Tyrese Maxey. And when they were both playing on the floor, they were doing pretty well. Remember, for you guys, it's not too late to draft your team. Sign up today on ESPN.com/fantasy.